Once again this week, we're talking about one of the internet's smelliest people. A woman who started out as one of the top users on Reddit's R Gone Wild and has now become one of Silicon Valley's favorite philosophers. You might know her Substack, you might know her awful tweets, you might know about her birthday gangbang. We are, of course, finally talking about Aella. Quick question for the two of you. How often do you two shower? Do you shower normally? Do you shower once a week, twice a week?
I forgot to shower this morning. That's why my hair looks like this, which is very embarrassing.
Did you shower last night?
I did, yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm a night showerer. I know that's controversial. People are like, you can't do that. You're going to be in your filth. I can't help it. I'm sorry. But I also didn't shower last night because I was busy singing an Elvis impersonator. And I got to say, I get why Gen X is like that. I understand.
Cool.
Elvis is cool. Yeah. No, Elvis is kind of dope. And I understand why they're all fascists now.
Okay, well, there's a lot there, and we can get into that in a second.
Whole pipeline, yeah.
While we're still talking about showering, I do want to say for our video viewers, my hair is a little curly today because I have run out of conditioner, and I want to say that I came across a video of this very cool lesbian chef on YouTube who was talking about her hair routine because I guess she got a lot of comments about it. And she was like, oh, I shampoo and condition my hair every day. And I was like, her hair looks really good. And I started doing it, but then I ran out of conditioner and then my hair went back to its normal size. And so now I'm actually kind of liking it more now.
I think I like
I
more.
gotta say, I like the floof.
Thank you. I was using conditioner and it was sort of I was looking like this really cool lesbian chef that I found on YouTube, but I think I feel more like myself with my hair now. So
audience, let us know which I only want the comments to be about Ryan's hair.
How much volume should Ryan's hair
have?
I think personally you should be a lesbian. I think you need to go with the lesbian. I always encourage men to look.
I should look like a lesbian. I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Cillian Murphy. Everyone loves Cillian Murphy. Let's be honest here.
I think that's
people love when men look like lesbians.
That's the kind of lesbian that I would like to look like. I don't want to look like a fuckboy lesbian, like a Justin Bieber lesbian. I want to look like an old Irish grandmother.
Yes.
Like Cillian Murphy.
Ideal.
But enough about lesbian grandmothers. Today we are here at Panic World, a show about how the internet warps our mind, our culture, and eventually reality. My name is Ryan Broderick. With me as always is Grant Irving. Joining us today from the Ill-Conceived Podcast is June and Josh.
Hello.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you so much.
We are here to talk about something that I have not wanted to talk about at all. I have fought tooth and nail to not talk about it. We are talking about Aella, the Egirl, and the Rationalists from Silicon Valley. These people warp the internet, the world as we know it, and are increasingly crashing out and fighting to stay relevant. And Aella is probably the smelliest one. So we picked her to talk about all of this. But we're going to get all into that in a bit. Let's first talk about kind of the basic facts of this. So do either of you have a good working definition for what rationalists are?
I would say that generally speaking, they are people who believe that the world is understandable based on sort of observable principles, and that by interrogating the various principles of the world through constant rigorous analysis, you can come to truths about the world. And for what that looks like for Aella specifically is that she is constantly running polls on her Twitter account about if you had to rape a child to save the world, would you do it?
They love stuff like that. That's true.
Most of these people, that's most of these people. Because Josh, you gave a very academic, a very smart answer about what these people claim to be or what they think they are. But what they actually are is they just post could trees emit hydrogen? And then people are no, that's fuck. Right. That could never happen. This is not something that anyone has ever thought about. This is not something anyone needs. And they're the fact that you're getting mad at me sort of proves why I needed to ask that question.
This sounds dumb because it is, but it's the ideology that's spreading across Silicon Valley right now. So let's dig into their culture, shall we?
Yeah.
basically the rationalists, the effective altruists, the effective accelerationists, all these people believe that AI is inevitable, and they're trying to come up with like philosophical frameworks for dealing with this inevitable God level superintelligence that we would create. So the effective altruists believe that you can like kind of fix all of society's ills by like over adapting to the free market, like even more so, sort of like that, like human misery is a math problem that can be solved by money. Effective accelerationists believe that like AI will destroy the world and they want it to, so they can build a new one.
Those freaks, those people
They're
are freaks. I do not understand. So yeah, I cannot understand how we have not like put them in like the fucking like swamp yet. Like I don't understand. It's such an anti-human perspective to take. And they're human, obviously.
Yeah, the phrase that I use for a lot of these people is that we just got to dig a big hole and put them in it. Like yeah. They just don't really belong in society, and like most of the people we'll be talking about today do not belong in society, which is why they're so interested in building a new, worse one. Which brings us to Aella, which will show us what happens to a brain when it's exposed to rationalism. So I did not know this. When do you guys think Aella appeared on the internet?
Ooh.
Like, where do you think she comes from? Because this surprised me.
So to me, she has just, I can't imagine a world without her in it. That's the thing for me. She's like an eternal presence.
I feel like she's like old internet. I feel like she was like, I don't know where specifically, but I feel like if you go to like all of her social medias, she had like registered her accounts and like whatever forums.
Yeah, she didn't come from like something awful, did she?
Well, so I thought she sort of clipped through like the wall between her dimension and ours around 2020. Mm-hmm. Like, the dime square vibe shift seems to have spawned her into life. Mm-hmm. But no, yeah, June is right. I did not know this. She started as a cam girl on 4chan.
Okay.
Oh my! On 4chan of all places.
So according to the Daily Dot, they got her. She gave this quote: "I actually just got really drunk one night, looked over and saw a tube of white face paint from Halloween, and figured I should put it on my face. And then next thing you know, I'm trapped in invisible boxes and humping chairs." So she was doing like erotic mime play on 4chan.
Interesting.
Yeah. It should be a surprise to nobody here that she was homeschooled and raised extremely religious.
There you go. Yeah.
Really, just like, I don't really have, I'm all about personal freedoms these days. If you want to homeschool your kids, that's fine. But you just have to find a new country for them to live in that like I don't have to deal with.
I'm with you 100%. We have talked about homeschooling on our show a few times, and one of the things that we regularly get in terms of just listener feedback is, I was homeschooled and I regret it.
Yeah, and of course they don't have a choice, which is the problem. It is like it's forcing a pretty rigid worldview at the end of the day. Like, it's education second. It's about like shielding from ideology, from the queers, and it like can really fuck people up. I personally, my hot take is I think homeschool, more or less, except for some situations where it's like somebody can only be homeschooled, I think it should be like child abuse. Like, it's not good for a kid. It's not good. I think it's bad. I think it should be banned.
It's pretty hot take. I'm not gonna touch. I'm not gonna touch that one with a 10-foot pole. But what I will say is that having to deal with adults who were homeschooled is a form of abuse that I am experiencing.
They should all be seasteading.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, that if Peter Thiel wants to take all the homeschool adults and just put them on a fucking oil rig, then they can do whatever they want.
They can share memes. They can share.
They would love to. They would love to share memes with each other. So Aella branches out to Reddit like everybody else around 2013, 2014. She shares a photo album of her. It's basically like a photo album of images of her being like sexually assaulted by garden gnomes that she photographed.
Okay. That's pretty funny.
That becomes the Gone Wild subreddit's highest rated post of all time.
Wait, so
I see.
I'm also just realizing I have seen this post.
This, by the way, just
absolutely no way you hadn't seen this.
To describe this for people not watching on the video feed, right? It's very goofy. It's very millennial coded. She is.
It's a very Quirk Chungus porn album.
She's Quirk Chungus as hell. She's got her hands out, like kind of like toward the camera, being like, "Oh no!" And
She's being
by these
dragged
little
away.
like garden gnomes, and she's got one of her feet up in the air behind her, but the camera angle is like pointed toward her face, and then moving sort of toward the back wall of the room.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
she has Comic-Con face.
Yeah.
Wait, this is new. Tell me, what is Comic-Con face?
Okay.
I've not heard of that.
There is like a specific kind of white woman that exists at comic conventions in the early 2010s. There's a look and typically a voice associated with it as well. A voice that would sort of, you could imagine them talking to you at great length about sort of like BBC Sherlock.
This is a close relative of DreamWorks face. It's a little different.
Yes. I would almost say that they have a speech impediment. It's almost that. It's like there's an accent. There's like a Comic-Con accent and a Comic-Con face, and Aella has one, and I sort of hadn't connected it that like a lot of the accelerationists and sort of Silicon Valley people have like Comic-Con face.
I've been watching BBC Sherlock for a while, and
I'm pretty sure that Rickenbach Falls will make John Locke canon.
So I think you're touching on something sort of interesting that I've noticed recently. I've seen people, because you're sort of saying that this is sort of an old aesthetic of like convention going, right? Like it's not necessarily how it is today, is what you were sort of saying. There was an interesting thing. I don't really have a name for it. I don't remember the little web series I saw it from off the top of my head, but the proliferation of social media has sort of changed that, because like that's Quirk Chungus. Right. These days, Quirk Chungus doesn't really hit it off on social media the same way. Everything is like pristine. Everything is like shiny, like perfect, beautiful on social media, especially in like con-going scenarios. Like back in the day, you'd see people wearing like a shitty robe, like in a shitty orange robe and like Naruto running around. And now it's like everyone has like the craziest get-ups, and it's like film crew level type, like filmography and like camera work, and it's like that is
very
sort of
very
professional, as like back in the day it was very earnest. It was very Quirk Chungus. The Quirk Chungus has no longer in vogue.
No, we've de-chungus as a culture, I would say.
We have de-chungus. And just a sort of final glimpse of what this culture was like. One of the top comments on this photo album was, "I laughed, I fapped. What else can you ask for?"
Fuck yes.
Fapped.
Now that comment date, I need to know when that was.
Yeah, I got it right here. So it's September 5th, 2013.
That sounds about right.
Yes.
Sounds about right.
Ooh, oh God, these are awful. These are awful comments.
Are you looking at more of them? Because I specifically chose the least offensive.
One of them says, "I honestly expected to see a picture of a gnome deep in your vagina."
Oh God.
Anyways.
So she was always sort of like how she still is. She's pushes the boundaries.
Yeah, she's always been good at the internet. Like, is very fluent in sort of like the way that like men on the internet want to be spoken to by a woman, which I think is very important for her rise later. Here's a quote from her from Know Your Meme. She like posts these pictures and she goes for a walk and she doesn't think about them going viral. And she says, "I ate a sandwich and then I kept walking. And as I kept walking, the post was exploding in the ranks. My phone started going off. But also I have IBS, so my stomach was feeling pretty bad and I needed a diarrhea immediately. So I started looking for a place to diarrhea, but the places I was walking through were full of really upper end suburban homes. I was like, this is not good. I had to jump into a bush right on the side of the road and pulled off my pants."
All right.
But while this was happening,
this is just fetish content.
but while this is happening, I am becoming famous. Commenters are like, "Oh my God, you're so sexy and funny." And then I walked to a gas station and threw my underwear in the trash. It was my first taste at having a lot of attention, and I really liked it.
Oh no, God. I have to go diarrhea in the
yeah. So,
and with that, she locked in the even freakier.
But that's exactly.
Yeah. So she gets her first run in with internet fame. She has diarrhea in a bush, throws her underwear in the trash, and the rest is history. This is the internet we all miss. So how does Aella change into someone trying to spearhead a crypto dating app and start talking about eugenics? We're going to talk about that. And after a word from our sponsors, Imodium. I googled diarrhea medicine.
That was pretty good. I got it. No, it's good.
Oh, I thought that was an actual. I was like, okay, we're gonna wait a second. We're gonna reset.
No. Pepto-Bismol. 2014, sort of a big inflection point for the internet. You know, it starts to sort of get a lot less innocent, maybe naive than it used to be. But Aella is still sort of a massive presence now on both Tumblr and Twitter and Reddit, where she's doing a lot of novelty porn. This is also probably like peak burlesque era. I remember like going to like an X-Men themed burlesque show in the Lower East Side in 2014.
Was that at the Slipper Room? Please tell me that was at the Slipper Room.
Almost certainly, probably. But it was pretty good. I mean, I remember it being pretty impressed with their Professor X. They had like a sexy wheelchair for him and stuff.
They do Linkin Park themed burlesque now. If I know that it's of your interest, Ryan.
I mean, I do love Linkin Park. I think they're their Nirvana of the 21st century.
You're kind of real for that. Yeah.
Also, like all music kind of sounds like Linkin Park.
And like you talk to some like person from Gen X and it's like Nirvana, that was the shit. Yeah. And like anyone that's like sort of in their late 20s or early 30s, that you hear Numb and everyone goes, oh, it's like, same reaction.
Hyperpop couldn't exist without Linkin Park.
I don't know about that.
Sure.
I was just listening.
Charlie XCX couldn't exist without Linkin Park.
I was just
Meteora.
listening to
I did this on purpose.
Numb Encore again the other day.
Unbelievable.
So good.
Unbelievable song. So 2014, Aella was having fun. We're all having fun with her. And then like everything else online, it takes a bad turn. So she gets another bit of attention in 2016 on Reddit. She says that she took acid once for a week for 10 months, and that gets her to the top of our drugs.
Hell yeah. She's a savant. She's been a social media
really
savant
smart
for a long time. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. I assume that she's lying about almost everything she says, but like it is, she knows exactly like the right kind of like ways to do this. She wrote, in 2014, I did on average 250 micrograms of acid once a week for 10 months from January to October, or approximately 40 times. There were times of deliberately induced and absolutely excruciating emotional pain to which nothing in my regular life has ever come close. I did it on purpose. I needed to know. Okay. She stops camgirling. She stops eating. She goes into like a deep depression. Debt collectors are calling her. Her mom gets sick. Like she's just in a really dark place. And then she kind of like comes out of this period with like a very different personality, I would say, online. And this is 2016 when she starts polling her Twitter followers and cataloging the results and publishing them as scientific data. So like I know people who went through this exact trajectory actually. Like they were like kind of quirk chunkacy, like burlesque adjacent people, took too many drugs and then became like hardcore like data freaks. Like this is a thing.
And
like, that happened.
I think the presenting it as scientific, statistically valid data is a really important point, actually, because to be clear, this is not reliable statistical data at all. This is the result of an online poll from some absolute fucking weirdos. But because of the whole like rationalist thing, she loves to present this stuff as if it has scientific value of any sort.
Yeah. And we sort of see that go to the top of like this sphere too. I mean, how many times have we had to see Elon Musk cite like a Twitter poll he made as like, nope, this is the ultimate truth. And it's like, no, that's just like a bunch of bots and freaks. Like there's no actual truth here.
We have a copy of all the Twitter polls here.
There's some gems here, I bet.
Here's some from 2016, which gives us a good understanding of the baseline before things get really out of control. Okay, so here's a few. Would you rather bone your GF in your mom's body or your mom in your GF's body? If you're a lady, it's BF and dad. Okay. Should public masturbation be considered a crime? If the mafia kidnapped you and forced you to drink 1 cup of the following, which would you prefer, blood or semen? At the time, I remember seeing some of these and just thinking like, these are growth hacks. Like she's doing a growth hack. I didn't really sort of see the larger project, I guess.
Some of these are designed to get outrage, obviously. Like,
100%.
Yeah, like some of the more extreme ones, especially where she's sort of like talking about CSAM and like, you know, as Josh mentioned in the intro, like stuff around pretty extreme sexual acts.
Yes.
And abuse of children.
And abuse.
Specifically.
Yeah.
She really, a lot of these hypotheticals, I think it's one of those things where, like, you kind of have to keep cranking up the outrage meter in order to keep getting those results. And I remember the sort of questions she was asking growing stranger and stranger.
Yeah, I think she made that calculation that a lot of people in this sphere have, where it's like they know, and they're right for this, that it's impossible to be liked or loved by everyone. So they're sort of tailoring their own audience to the type of person that, like, is okay with this sort of stuff, sort of like a right-wing chud coded sphere, like just like, oh, it's like free speech, bro, like that kind of person.
I find it almost more insidious, though, than the right, I think, in a lot of ways, because they refuse to say what they mean and what they're doing to such a degree. Yeah. So when she starts doing the polling, according to her own account, she has now started reading rationalist blogs. So she's reading these sort of AI adjacent blogs, which 10 years ago were like playing in a lot of hypotheticals. And I think we're giving... Okay, here's my hot take. I would like to hear your thoughts on this. As the Reddit atheism movement, the new atheism movement, sort of like Quirk chunguses and collapses in the early 2010s.
Fedoras were horrible for the movement. It destroyed
it. Horrible. I think the rationalist movement sort of took its place as like an area online where like a lot of sort of smug people could like LARP as Hitler.
Yeah,
basically
there was like that. It sounds like you were there at the ground level of like the new atheist movement, and I was too. And it's like the divergent point was, specifically from what I remember, it was sort of like at the crossroads, like the God question. Obviously, you can only sort of in atheist spheres yell at Christians and like different religious figures so much until it gets a little stale. So then it sort of got into the realm of like talking about Islam, and then from there it was like, oh, should we be able to critique it this way? And then it was like sort of the Sam Harris's of it all, where like, no, this is like uniquely bad, like they do this that, sort of echoing like a George Bushian viewpoint on like Islam specifically, very sort of like post 9/11 views of Islam. And it was like, for me, I was like, okay, I think this is where I'm going to take my exit. And then you saw after that, a lot of these people are now the same people that are like, actually, I think trans people should be cataloged. I think we should make lists of trans people. I think homophobia is probably good sometimes. To be clear, I don't think Aella is specifically one of these people. I think she's fine with trans people. I think she's fine with gay people. I'm fairly certain of that. But this whole sphere that she has cultivated, the other people she associates with tend to be these kinds of people. And it's sort of like the outgrowth of, I agree, the like old new atheist movement back in the 2010s.
Yeah, I think there's something very darkly funny and ironic about like a bunch of like burned out atheists inventing like a pseudo religion around an inevitable AI apocalypse that now they just like talk about all the time.
Yeah.
But to your larger point, let me read you some of the titles from this community that she's getting more attached to. Scott Alexander defending pro-scientific racism arguments with, I argue things I don't actually believe. So then why are we doing it?
Yeah.
Economist Robin Hanson raising the idea of sex redistribution, the government forcing women to fuck men, which he totally doesn't actually support. Also, Robin Hanson, father of the prediction market. He's the guy who invented them. Eliza Yudkowsky, who, along with writing Harry Potter fanfic, muses a lot about benevolent AI governments. And so she's now, in 2015, going to these meetups where she's meeting like other bloggers, and she's sort of kind of absorbing a lot of what they're talking about. I think her sort of like trick is that she was able to sort of, I think, authoritatively apply a lot of the doomer AI, end of democracy, neo-reactionary, feudalist sort of talk to sex and gender. And that is sort of what she's still doing to this day, is like taking their weird, fucked up way of like wanting to catalog all of human existence and sort of say what is good or bad and sort of apply it to sex and gender. Yeah, and that's her niche in these circles. At one point, she talks about throwing a naked party and says people only talked about global trade, which is, you know, all to say like, I don't want to hang out with her. I wouldn't want to hang out with her.
There are a surprising amount of people that do. Didn't she have?
Well, to be fair, they mostly want to fuck her, like that. And I think that's the other thing that's worth noting about her whole thing, is that because she is fundamentally a sex worker, her entire thing is essentially a huge conversion funnel to her OnlyFans.
Yes, the OnlyFans comes a bit later, but she's doing different kinds of sex work, and she's carving out this lane that I think is like rewarding her for being more and more reactionary. For example, during the Me Too movement, Aella wrote on her Substack, Knowing Less, and she writes, "The world is not safe for us seems to be the message. I felt weird and confused because I have never felt this despite having been a sex worker. How is it that everyone's getting abused around me and I'm left untouched and ignorant to this?" That's an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, by the way. That's like an entire plot line with Mac and his gym teacher. But then I remembered I actually was a victim of sexual assault. There were many instances in my life that might qualify. I was molested as a child, stalked and chased in deserted streets, grew up at a party, forced into a hand job despite clearly and repeatedly saying no. The forced sexual contact was really annoying and uncomfortable, but I wasn't afraid they would hurt me. But with the Me Too campaign, I felt a pressure to view the things that happened to me as part of this systemic abuse narrative. Please realize I'm not necessarily making an argument against the Me Too campaign. It's very possible that the benefits are greater than this cost. I don't know if Me Too is a net benefit or not, but I see nobody discussing the potential downsides, and I feel cultural pressure not to. So here's a big list of all the systemic abuse I've suffered, and here's why I don't believe that it's systemic abuse, basically.
When she says cost, what is she talking about? What does she mean by that?
That it's forcing women to think of themselves as victims if these things happen to them.
Right.
Her point is she's like, I view these things that happen to me as annoying.
Right.
Nothing. She's not suppressing any feelings there, but if she categorized them as like big life altering changes, that would hurt her more. So our cultural focus of saying we should stop these things, the cost is that now women are going to view themselves as victims.
That just makes me so sad.
It's really sad.
Yeah. It's sort of like adjacent to this thinking. I'm sure you saw Mark Andreessen sort of recently talking about how to be powerful, to move the world, you have to have no introspection. You shouldn't think about yourself and things that happen to you and like impacts off of that. And that, I mean, it makes sense that so many of these like sort of rationalist, like futurist type people like think this way, because ultimately it's progress no matter what, right? Like what this is right now is trivial compared to what's to come. So they don't even. Yeah. I think that's where she is coming from here. And I think you're also right that it's like she's sort of trying to do like a have it both ways, where it's like she's giving credence to the like, oh, you know, like she can pivot based off of whatever side sort of wins out culturally here.
I know this is a loaded term, and I'm going to use it anyways because like we don't really have a replacement. There's this specific kind of centrist pick-me that like Barry Weiss and Aella are like very, very guilty of, where it's like, I'm in the boys club. I think this is all a bit much. Like I saw this so much when I was living in London with like these like second wave jacket over a dress with Doc Martens feminists that were like, it's all a bit nonsensical, isn't it? Like,
well, and they're all TERFs
and they're all sort of like the kind of girl who can like have a cigar with the boys in the back room. And then it's like, well, this woman is doing that, and then she's also listing all of the times that she's been abused in those spaces. And like you can see the cognitive dissonance just sort of shaking around in this blog post, and it's sad is the word I would use for it.
I think she is also just very good at reading the internet, like the mood of the internet. I mean, just looking back at some of her earlier posts, she was sort of on the forefront of like that Chungus mindset. and then
Chungus mindset.
The Chungus mindset.
The Chungus mindset is like such a good book like to write. Just I want to be Chungus maxing as hard as I can. Actually,
Chungus maxing.
I want a Reddit elf wife, and I want to learn to make bread, and I want to just like have a Funko Pop bedroom, and
yes.
Absolutely.
I just want to be Chungus maxing.
You need some very specific gum.
Gum?
Like something like it's branded to help your jaw.
Oh, doughy and soft.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna start buying. I bet I could get a bunch of American Apparel hoodies on eBay right now for like a pretty good price.
And I think like she was able to like get that Chungus mindset. She was on the forefront of that. And then right as around 2016, 2015, it sounds like, right as sort of like this new fascism sort of esoteric nihilism is sort of ascendant among a certain section of the online and just like society generally. She was also first to that wave. She can really read the room.
You are so right. In fact, that is literally what we have next for you, which is
you ever think about how much you think about awful things?
Yeah,
just day to day. It's like,
okay, wait,
Aella, I have to fucking think about Aella.
No, hold
Somebody's
on.
gotta do it.
You know, you guys are so good at getting me to go off on tangents. I have to rant about this because Hassan Piker, I'm a fan. I think he's really talented. He's been on a fucking press tear lately since the Oscars, being like, woe is me, my brain is broken from looking at the internet. And I'm like, this is the best job in the whole world. What are you talking about? I get to sit on the computer all day and look at new freaks. Like, this is not a real job.
Every day a new one drops.
Oh, yeah. I have to like look at the internet all day and think about it. Work in an oil rig if you don't like it. This is great. I am sorry.
What I'll say, Hassan is a I fuck with Hassan. He's a homie.
I love him.
Do you think that Hassan Piker has ever watched Top 10 Hottest Sonic Female Characters?
Honestly, Hassan, come on the show. We will teach you to love the internet again, and we will show you Sonic inflation fetish art until you tap out. Yes, whatever you want to do.
It's about what you consume. It really changes it. Yeah.
Did you ever have a period of time where it was hurting you, and like, did you like change how you framed it for yourself?
Yeah, ISIS. ISIS was the period where ISIS was allowed to post freely on the internet, and having to cover that was like not fun, because that was like actual that's not like memes. that's like crimes against humanity that were being uploaded to YouTube as music videos. That was not fun.
The U.S. government does it.
Yeah, but like when the U.S. government does it, they're using like Halo footage, and they're like fucking what is his name? Tyler Sheridan, like fucking like Taylor Sheridan Yellowstone clips, like whatever. Like
someone could easily make a through line, some argument, some paper, a book about ISIS posting online to Donald Trump's second term posting online. 100%. There's a through line there. Yeah,
it's identical. It's completely identical.
I just need them to not discover Marathon. They've already ruined it. I can't let them take Marathon.
Honestly, they should just like, have someone build CCOT in Pokemon Pokopia or something. Like, like Pal World's probably a better game for that, honestly.
They would do
that. So back to Aella. As June was sort of alluding to, she is learning how to catch these waves as they're happening. Here's some trends. Between 2015 and 2016, it's just like straight up sexual curiosity polls. A lot of that stuff of like, if you had to like look at child pornography to defuse a bomb, would you? That kind of shit.
Right.
Then in 2017, she like...
It's a good question when you really think about it.
Whoa.
Like if you really like...
Well, like the reason they're obsessed with these is because like... they have convinced themselves that this AI supercomputer of the future that will like find a way. I don't want to go into Roko's Basilisk right now. If people listening want to like learn more about this, just Google Roko's Basilisk. You can learn all about it. But they sort of believe that the AI of the future will create like extreme moral dilemmas that we must navigate to birth this new AI-led society. And so they're constantly sort of arguing about this stuff.
I would argue that a piece of it too is that they just don't think that taboos are real or have a real purpose, Yeah,
and we see some real trends in her Twitter polls. 2017, there's a lot of morality stuff, for instance. Do you believe some viewpoints exist that are so outrageous or offensive that they deserve to be shut down or suppressed? Would you rather get stuck raising a child that's not yours from a woman who cheated on you, or lose your hands? 2018, there's more philosophical thought experiments. For instance, in one room, a child is about to die. In the other room, an evil demon is about to raise the cost of all grocery items in the world 2%. You can either save the child or kill the demon, but not both. Which do you choose?
It says a lot about society. Yeah.
2019, we see more culture war stuff. By 2020, you get questions like this. Putting your potential libertarianism aside, parentheses,
come on.
Would you support a government program that paid a moderate... I mean, that's a weird assumption to make of her own audience, isn't it?
Yes. Yep.
Would you support a government program that paid a moderate monthly stipend to people who've tested positive for severe genetic illnesses as long as they don't reproduce?
Obviously, Jesus the next very logical through line. Yeah.
Yeah. And you see how this feeds into one another. You get very dorm room questions, that try to dehumanize things in really abstract ways. And then you inevitably, start talking about what's best for society. And then, of course, she starts talking about eugenics.
We talk a lot about this stuff on Ill Conceived also. Just like the sort of weird pseudo academic sort of alternate stack that they are building. And the craziest thing is that a lot of these organizations have ties to like the old line eugenicist movement at the beginning of the 20th century, and a lot of like actual Nazis, like not Nazis in the sense that everybody's a fucking Nazi now, but like going back to paid up Nazi party members from the 20s, 30s.
There's like monetary links over the decades from those to today.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And much like eugenicists trying to breed the perfect human, after the break, we're going to talk about Aella trying to solve dating and sex and human hygiene because she's now fully on her rationalist quest. But first, a word from our sponsors, Reason.com. You sort of brought the question of like, how does Aella think about trans people, sort of gender identity?
From what I remember, she's neutral at best. She's not like anti-trans. I could be totally wrong, but my read of her is she is like neutral on like those sort of issues.
I imagine her natural Quirk Chungus Tumblr girl personality wants to sort of identify as like a demisexual otherkin.
Yeah. In a different world, like, she would have that in her bio. Yeah,
but she can't be like plantkin, so she has to figure out like a new way to do it. So in 2019 she writes, I'm starting to dislike using preferred pronouns for non-binary and genderqueer people. This is a really controversial thing to say on my social circles, but whenever I use a preferred pronoun, it feels a bit like I'm playing a game of pretend. But my brain does not play along. It sits on my shoulder like a child. She's a woman, it says. She's a woman, and you're pretending. I mean, she used non-binary pronouns for her brain in that sentence. So it's not that hard. They can do and feel and present however they want, and it's none of my business. You do you, man. But it sort of becomes my business when they're asking me to change my behavior and thoughts. This leads to fear of being honest with most people who ask me to use preferred pronouns, and I feel sad about that.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, I'm not going to talk to you anyway, lady. Like,
there will never be an instance where you have to refer to me. Yeah. And it's also one of those things. It's like, you see this like Ben Shapiro, best example always will be the best example, being interviewed by, I forget who, but talking about how like if you saw someone who's like presenting as a woman, like it's like you're not like actively, it's not something you actively think about it. It's a like social presentation thing. If someone is presenting as a woman, your brain will almost certainly automatically gender that person how they are presenting. And to that point in that interview, he accidentally genders the person correctly and then has to correct himself to be like transphobic to gender them incorrectly. And it's like, it's not something that people have to actively think about it. It's very performative whenever these people are like, oh, it's like tearing me apart. It's like, it's not. Like, you're performing for...
You are tearing me apart, gender.
They, them.
It's a very performative thing. Even like the most hateful among like J.K. Rowling, like all these people, it's all so performative.
This is a great point from Grant's non-binary partner who uses they, them pronouns. They said, isn't her whole thing playing pretend with hypotheticals? So can't really handle that, I guess, too much. Can imagine a god computer in the future that can put you in cyber hell for eternity, but can't imagine using they, them.
The computer,
pronouns.
it doesn't know they, them. The computer can't figure it out.
The computer has gender essentialist thoughts. Yeah,
it only has 1 and 0. It has nothing.
That's right. Literally binary.
No, there's only 2 classifications of human being in the eventual AI apocalypse: who can be hooked up to some sort of milking machine and who can't. That's right. And I'm not talking about like milk.
When you started that sentence, I was like, Ryan's about to talk about milking machines.
I'm in your brain, Grant.
It's disgusting what China is doing with those machines.
It's disgusting that they still have Jordan Peterson hooked up to one of those in Beijing somewhere.
He's tapped out.
Milking sessions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm dry. Please.
Okay, let's let's get into the sort of decline I talked about before the break. She starts working on a game theory informed dating app in 2018, which involves like cryptocurrency, obviously. 2019, she moves into, quote, a big Bay Area rationalist group house. You know it smells crazy.
Shit. Yeah.
Oh, you know it.
Shit, literally.
Insane.
Yeah.
She starts an OnlyFans a year later, which gets her a GQ cover story about her use of the platform. She is obviously still conducting her surveys. She gets in trouble in April 2020 for having a Twitter poll that reads, you get into a discussion about the N-word, about how it's used and societal attitudes towards it. Your black friend says you don't have to say the N-word. You can just say it directly in this conversation. It's okay. And then, do you say it directly? No, stick with the N-word. Yes, with an A at the end. Yes, with an R at the end.
Come on.
Okay. What's the tweet? Like, everyone's 12 now. Like, this is just like fucking, like, this is stupid
Can't
shit.
figure
Like,
out they, them, but is in a scenario where she has to say the N-word or else.
Yeah. Right. These people are dumb. Like, and I think, I remember this experience when I was covering the crypto industry for magazines right after COVID, which was honestly like the best reporting job I've ever had. These people are fucking freaks. And like,
you ever talk to Vitalik Buterin?
I never met him. No, I met a few other like heads of dApps and shit, but never him. No.
Because that was one where I also remember when the whole crypto boom was happening. I was like, well, I should see what the like intellectual underpinnings of this shit
big mistake.
And so huge mistake, because I went and I read his blog.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy doesn't know anything about anything.
Yeah.
Not only is he like ill-informed, he doesn't even know what he doesn't know.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He doesn't understand that like all of these problems he is trying to solve, that other people have tried to solve these problems in different ways, and therefore his solution is doomed to fail because he is repeating past mistakes.
Yeah, it's so sick. I just remember, like, I think I was like outside of a convention, maybe in Miami or something, and I just had this like overwhelming feeling of like, oh, everyone here is fucking stupid, or they're being stupid on purpose to make money. Like, these people are either predators or dupes.
It's a thing that like
it was very freeing.
Is still happening right now. Is like these people will say these controversial things for really no reason. There's like nothing to be gained here. But what they are actually gaining, what the real purpose of it is just that they get to laugh about that and the reaction to that in their group chats and feel like really cool and like countercultural. I mean, you still even see that from people like, as I mentioned before, Mark Andreessen. I don't know if either of you have been like watching how he's been posting recently, but he's like sounds indistinguishable from like a school shooter, like 19-year-old.
Yes.
And it's like, he's like, bro is 50. Why is he talking like indistinguishable from like a clavicular like post on like Twitter, like some weird like kick streaming Twitter account? It's because they want to feel cool. They want to feel countercultural. They want to feel like a counterweight to like normal, like a polite society. But in turn, what it really just feels like is they're just sort of like school shooter posting.
I've talked about this in the show before, but like I volunteered at a special needs camp every summer, and I've been doing it since I was a kid with my dad, and I have a pretty hard line about, you know, the special needs community, and the return of the R word, I think, has just been a disaster for America. And the fact that someone like Mark Andreessen can say the word retard maxing on a podcast and get no pushback from anyone in his industry sort of deflated me in a way that like I wasn't really anticipating.
This return is like being led by like 40 and 50-year-olds who want to be cool. They want to be in the limelight of posting. They want to be what like early Twitter, like what was it called? Normal Twitter? Or what was that called? Like the original, like where drill, all those like original.
Oh, weird Twitter.
Weird Twitter.
Yeah.
Normal Twitter. That's
I mean,
it's the
these days weird Twitter feels like normal Twitter.
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
But, like they want to be like that new wave of whatever that is for themselves.
I think that breaking people down into categories and then sort of removing those categories of people from public discourse or even being seen as people altogether, that's the point of the project. And that's the point of bringing slurs like that back as well. Because if you can categorically say people who have like intellectual support needs aren't really people like you and me, then you're going to be able to cleave away against more and more and more people to put yourself on a higher and higher
especially because
All this coming from a man who looks like goddamn Humpty.
He looks like an egg.
I'm not about it.
He looks like a little egg.
And all these people have a lot of thoughts about eugenicism, which is interesting.
They do. What you guys were saying about sort of like this being a way to break society down and sort of change it is best actually summed up by a post from Aella in 2021 titled "In Defense of Edginess." Oh wow! Could you imagine anything more aggressively 2021 than that title? Jesus fucking Christ! She writes, "Imagine you are mean, don't have a lot of empathy, and enjoy making people mad." I would say you just become a podcaster.
That's right.
You go on the internet and you post the most provocative takes you can find. Maybe Trump should be grabbing more women by the pussy, you tweet on one account, and I'm not sure we shouldn't be discussing white extermination on the other. I mean, honestly, that second one goes pretty hard. Like, white extermination, see my band played. And people say, why are you being so edgy? Or you seem to be getting off on making people upset. Now imagine you live in a society.
Oh, okay. Thinking about
Imagine you live in a society where pedophilia is the norm and children are forced to engage in sex acts on adults.
Sure, man. Okay. Yeah, let's imagine it. What wonderful fruits will this thought experiment?
Josh,
I can't wait to find out.
Josh, imagine you live in a society where bananas are bicycles. And so imagine you live in a society where pedophilia is the norm and children are forced to engage in sex acts on adults. You think real hard about this, conclude it's really bad, and then run around going, hey, we're literally traumatizing children. This is horrible for our culture. Maybe we should stop. And people say, why are you being so edgy? In my ideal world, my friends and I would sit around figuring out what sorts of thoughts we don't want to think, because to me, this is inherently interesting and fun. I absolutely relish the rare occasion when someone asks me a question that triggers unexpected disgust in me. I am not bad. I am not cackling like an asshole who wants to watch the internet burn. I'm childlike in this, and I actively enjoy my own discomfort and want to share that enjoyment with others.
This is so fucking homeschool brain.
It's so goddamn dumb.
It's really, truly the sorts of thoughts you could only have if you didn't grow up around other people already kind of having these discussions when you were 12 years old, you know? And then when you get a bit older than that, coming to the circle and being like, hey guys, check this out. What if everybody was a pedophile? And then having everybody be like, what are you talking about?
Right.
I don't want to be around you. You know, like, that's the normal reaction to people saying something like that. But if you haven't had the shit kicked out of you, if you haven't been ostracized for being a fucking unpleasant weirdo, you're going to be like, well, I'm just a little different. I'm a little bit of a pedophile quirk jungus, you know?
That's right.
It's like, it's also one of those things where it's like, she strikes me as a person, I'm sure you've run across these people that are like, well, if you don't have God in society, how are you going to figure out what morals are? I don't know. Things that hurt people are bad and should not be good. You should not harm other people. That's like, you don't need a God there to know what is hurtful to other people. But like that doesn't register for some people, and that's sort of like the same mindset she has. It's like where she's like, wow, it's like really deep if you think about like, what if everyone was pedophiles? It's like, no, that would literally not ever happen. Like,
right. And it's also like, what if, man? Like, that's not an interesting question.
No,
you know what I mean? I think that's the thing that really gets me is not, oh God, I'm so triggered by this world in which everybody is a pedophile. It's just like, there's no utility in that thought experiment. It doesn't tell us anything. I think
these people confuse, maybe purposely, maybe they genuinely don't understand what the reaction is. They think being annoyed and just repulsed by people is like triggering the libs. So when people are like, this is like kind of fucking an insane thing to say, they're like triggered. It's like, I mean, no, I'm like pointing and laughing at you. Like, I'm laughing at how insane you are. Like, there is no triggering happening here.
This also just like, to me, screams of someone who like has no cultural awareness, because like, so like, okay, in college I had a group of friends that we would do I think, what do we call it, like
Chungussing?
Sexy Murder Sundays or something, where we would try to find the most transgressive, just horrific piece of film we could watch, right?
Okay.
Salò, 120 Days of Sodom or whatever, a Serbian film, Dogtooth,
Human Centipede.
I think we didn't do Human Centipede because we were all like, that's kind of lame. Like this one isn't really going to bother us. Yeah,
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike, yeah. But what was so like kind of nice about doing that in a college setting at that time was like actually like learning to appreciate and understand transgressive art and like understand the point of it. And that is why I find it extremely tedious if I'm in a room and someone's like, what if the whole world was pedophiles? I'm like, nah, man, what if my stomach was a VCR? What if I was James Woods and I had to cut Debbie Harry's nipples off because my stomach was a VCR? What if I was sexually attracted to car crashes? Like, the world is so much larger and more interesting when you actually sort of have a barometer for like genuinely upsetting weird art. Yeah. And this is boring. This is boring shit.
In order to have that, you need to have an actual perspective, both artistically and rhetorically. Absolutely. You can't just be addicted to asking edgy questions. You have to have the desire and the willingness to do something with it.
Right. And so like all of these people in Silicon Valley who are doing all of this, like to me, I just look at them and I think you have no awareness of like human history before you, because all of these questions have been asked. Art has been made about them. Like, people have been writing about this. These are not new. They're not interesting. And because you've slapped AI, it's sort of the end goal of your philosophy, you feel like it has sort of a renewed interest, but it doesn't. There's nothing there. And I think post-COVID, that's becoming clear that it's having diminishing returns for these people.
Yeah.
But where does that leave these dork chunguses that have made this their brand? In Aella's case, the stunts have only gotten bigger.
The gangbang?
The gangbang. So a bit of prologue here.
She has ruined flowcharts for me. God damn it.
Yeah. We're going to start with a little bit of prologue. And she publishes her 2022 stats.
Oh, yeah.
Because, how can you be logical without keeping any data? And so her 2022 stats include, this year I went outside 222 times. I pooped 194 times.
Bad. Real. Oh, she's gonna.
I'm worried about her.
That's so bad.
Yeah,
actually,
she needs a fucking colonoscopy.
She did clarify that's not the amount of times per day. That's like
she pooped.
If she pooped, that
So she pooped.
She pooped more than that.
But there were 194 days on which she pooped.
So there was like 160 days where she did not.
That's still
bad.
half the year that she wasn't pooping.
Worrisome.
Yeah,
that's really bad. That's
you gotta get some fiber. It's got to be a daily.
Yeah, this girl's got a turd in the chamber, folks. Oh wait, hold on, guys. There's an explanation here. Took Adderall 126 times.
There we go.
That would explain it. Okay,
yeah.
Okay. She had sex 63 times.
Okay.
And then, of course, one of the grossest things I've ever seen on the internet. She showered 37 times.
Crazy.
So just so we all have that, 365. She showered every 10 days or so.
Yeah.
That's astounding. Yeah. See, like the best reading possible is like, did she mean like she didn't like shampoo and condition her hair, or did she like just straight up not touch water for like 10 days?
I think she's like dry. I think
she's not moist.
I think she is probably moist actually, because she had not showering every 2 weeks.
Sex then showers by double margin.
She did. I didn't say that one.
That's how you know she's cool.
She had sex 63 times, but only showered 37. So that's actually dangerous. This girl is not pooping, and she's not showering after sex.
Look, I don't kink shame here. Maybe someone's into that. There's probably someone really into that.
I'm just thinking about the times that I have gone for more than like 4 days without showering, which is like when I'm sick, Yeah. And I literally can't do it. And how bad I smell after that time. And I am now imagining showering once every 10 days.
Yeah, it's insane. And to be clear, she says she doesn't smell and has like retrained her body to clean itself. But things get obviously worse for us having to talk about this.
Yeah, for sure.
Just the horrible.
In 2023, she posted a dating profile on a prediction market. She accuses Time of lying that there's misogyny in the rationalist scene, as everyone is sort of like gambling over her sex life. Then we get to the gangbang. So February 2024, Aella has her birthday gangbang.
As you do.
She has a blog about it, which fucking shit you not, opens with a Nelson Mandela quote.
That's good.
She's insane. She's so good at this.
Yeah,
she's so fucking good at
kind
this.
of love her as the thing. It's
You can apply to date her.
I watched a video of like John Mayer like playing guitar recently, and this is what it feels like reading her blogs. Like this is
this is the thing is like, say what you will about her and her insane takes, but she is a fucking savant. Like,
she knows what she's doing.
Post. She can post.
The quote, by the way, the Mandela quote that she uses is I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear.
This is what I say to myself when I am prepping my whole.
Here, I can show you the robes that the men in attendance were given, which read, I went to the Aella B-Day gangbang and all I got was this bathrobe and also to fuck a porn star.
This is so fucking Quirk Chungus.
Yeah, it is.
She's so... it's there. It's always there. The previous Quirk Chungus to like edgy nihilist, that like they have it in them. Any of these like edgy people, you see them talk in person, it's like, oh, it's just a dweeb Chungus.
Yeah. This is a huddle of fluffers in the pregame huddle.
Love that.
Another Quirk Chungus thing here is a sticker that she handed out for her gangbang.
Oh.
Yeah.
The entire orgy cost $3,335, I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine there's some sort of buffet. I think that's usually what it is.
She knows how to take care of her guests.
Oh,
I'll tell you what, though, she's probably looking like a damn snack. I'd eat the whole fucking buffet.
Oh.
Folks.
Well, we have data on who ate the buffet and who didn't, sort of.
And Josh is in there, actually. We found him.
So
that's right.
Here's the flow chart kind of thing of the gangbang data. So we've got 1,600 people. Yeah, 1,600 people responded to her survey. 800 of them didn't pass the auto filter. A couple more filters. We end up with 250 people contacted. End up with 87 invites. 56 of those get tickets. 43 of them do STD testing.
Yeah. It's interesting. All 25 friends immediately passed the screening, whereas 83 of them who were not friends had to interview, of which 21 were rejected.
Yeah, that is interesting data. 42 people showed up. 5 didn't bang her. 37 penetrated her. Okay. And then I don't want to read the last one here because it's just like gross.
You don't want the cum breakdown? What's wrong with the cum breakdown?
I don't want to read. I don't want to read the cum breakdown.
The most important part.
Okay,
Ryan, I think you should read the cum.
Okay,
breakdown.
So then there's a cum breakdown, and 17 people came in her, and 5 people came in the fluffer, and 15 people didn't come.
That's crazy that 15.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
they had 3 minutes to have sex with her, and a long line to wait.
Were they all dudes?
I imagine. Okay, wait. So 10 women attended.
Oh.
2 to help out and just look hot and run the coat check. And then there were 8 fluffers.
Got it. So all the women in attendance were fluffers.
And I do remember this. There was a whole detail that was going around that like one of the men fell in love with one of the fluffers.
Oh my God.
Many such cases. I mean, that happens.
Yeah. You know that song, I'm in love with a stripper? What if it was...
I'm in love with a fluffer. I'm in love with a fluffer at a Rationalist gangbang. Good. Yeah.
I was actually thinking true love will find you in the end, you know?
Yes. Chances are she did not shower either before or after this because she said that she only showered 24 times in 2024.
Oh,
right. That's less.
So that's way less.
That's much less.
Way less.
That's much less.
That's like
that's once every 15
that's
days.
Like that's like once like that's
she was basking in this afterwards for what would that be, like 2 weeks?
Yeah, just marinating in it.
Not the fortnightly shower.
Hypothetical for you: if you're kidnapped by the mafia and you have the choice of showering before the gangbang or after the gangbang, but you have to pick one,
right?
Which would Aella pick?
It depends on whether the mafia are pedophiles or not. I don't know why it depends, but it does.
So that's the story of that. I hate all of this. I mean, I should say I enjoy talking about this. I think that she is a curious figure. And so as we wind down today, I would love your guys like parting thoughts here about like what this all means, because like the fact that we are aware of her and know her and like that matters, I think, in a way. Like that says something that we have to know who this person is.
I think for me, it's she looking at her past, she will always be amongst us. She will be among us. She will so be damn true. Yeah.
Among us.
6'7". Sorry. But like she knows where the winds are always blowing. She is in this current rationalist space, maybe because she is partially there herself, but I think she understands that it's like sort of a good way to market herself. It's sort of an audience that she has captured at this point. And I think that if the winds continue to blow in some different direction going forward, we will find herself at the apex of another different movement, whatever that might be. I think she is just like a really perfect example of someone that knows how to occupy a lot of people's minds for just like insane reasons.
One thing I will add to that is that the nice thing about her is that if you're standing fairly close to her, you'll always know which way the wind is blowing, at least if you're downwind.
Yeah. And I think and I think she like that was good. But I think it's like it's no mistake that she is like surrounding herself by, or she is being surrounded by a lot of these like tech leaders like Mark Andreessen. She has a lot of overlap with a lot of the people running and ruining the world right now, and that's also no coincidence. These people want to create like an alternative edgy ecosystem of like intellectuals, of academics, of journalists that don't quite fit in, right? It's sort of like she is doing this for her own purposes, but a lot of people around her, especially above her with the money, are sort of maybe not propping her up with money, but you know, like she is in their orbit for a specific ideological purpose.
Something that I think I'm interested in is just the rise of the sort of specialist e-girl, and I think she very much falls into that category, right? Where there are lots of different people who are, you know, adult content creators who understand that in order to capture a specific market, you need to present yourself in a certain way. Now, to be clear, I don't think that's why she's doing everything of what she's doing. I think she's also in it for the love of the game. But I think that a lot of the reason that these sort of influential tech people are so into her shit is that they're also subscribing to her OnlyFans. And so there's an interesting sort of give and take there in terms of she is providing them with a sort of type of content that they are interested with, engaging with, and jorking it to. But then on the flip, she then is able to gain a profile from the fact that they do engage with her content. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're both correct. And I think that like you can kind of see in her trajectory the creation of this new sphere of culture and influence in Silicon Valley, which I think has been very confusing for a lot of people, because I even am sort of confused by this, because you would think that the people who created the way the internet works now would know things about it, like have any sort of like context. And what we learned is like they all left COVID lockdown and revealed that they didn't. They weren't paying attention for the last 15 years. And so it has been sort of maddening to watch these people reinvent like the cringiest shit from first principles over and over again. And she is an example of that. She is doing the exact same thing on X and Substack that she was doing on 4chan literally 10, 15 years ago. And that sucks. I think that sucks. I think that sucks for everybody. It feels like Eternal September, but for like all of American culture over and over and over again.
I feel like it's worse because on 4chan, she was trying to be funny. Like it became really
hold on. I would hesitate to say that she's not being funny. I think that like there's always kind of this like assumption that the weird freaks online are totally serious, and I think that's doubly true for when women are being weird freaks online. But like, I bet you there's like a good sense of irony running through this whole thing. Like the gangbang shit is a joke.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
I would even guess like maybe the showering's a joke. Like, my brain is telling me that it has to be a joke. But like, I don't think that she is super self-serious. I think that she is amusing herself, and I think that she's having fun in a way that she thinks is fun.
No, I don't think she's an evil mastermind, but like the stakes have raised.
Well, she has a closer connection to power, yes, and influence, yeah.
You know, like undercurting, like, oh, I'm doing these like fun little sex surveys. It was like libertarians being like, yes, no, like we don't need scientific method to record data. All these things undergird it, which is different than like, I had some white face paint and now I'm going to be a mime that's locked inside of my chair.
No one had a problem with Rasputin when he was a weird monk in the woods. Everyone had a problem when he had the ear of the royal family.
I think I see what you're saying
Totally,
too, Grant.
Ryan.
Like there's a category,
Right?
yeah. There is a categorical difference between I am going to stage some photos where I'm getting dragged away by gnomes versus how do we feel about you, Jeff?
Oh, 100%.
Or like Brian Johnson-ing her life. There's like, I'm doing this goofy thing in my room versus like this data is informing, like should be used to inform, like I'm a pioneer of self-experimentation for optimizing myself is like a drastically different thing.
And I think the thing that all of this represents is sort of like the cultural shift of a lot of the like as we were talking about earlier, like the more atheist like, oh, let's like really think about things sort of philosophy mindset with like the Chungus mindset of the 2010s, and how that shifted into sort of this like futurist, like nihilist school shooter mentality type posting of like the tech world today and like Silicon Valley. I think it's like she represents like almost sort of like the perfect representation of a lot of these people's evolution out of the Chungus into the
fire.
Into the nihilism, into the fire, into the
the Chungus and into the fire.
Episode title?
Yeah, out of the Chungus and into the fire.
Maybe.
I want to thank you guys for coming on. This was great. Genuinely a pleasure as always. If people want to follow you on the internet, where can they do that?
Josh, you want to go first?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I co-host a podcast called Ill Conceived with my co-host, June.
Hi.
Who's sitting here as well. We talk about natalism, which is the ideology that sees declining birth rates as the most important issue facing the world right now, which is not our position, but we're very interested in interrogating the people who do have that position. I wonder if Aella has ever talked about natalism.
I bet you she has.
Is she on a birth rate kick?
Let's see.
We'll have to look into it.
Well, she's on finding the perfect partner to have babies with.
Yeah, 8 months ago. Eight months ago. I keep saying the reason for low birth rate is that our quality of life has increased in almost all aspects besides child rearing. The more luxury we have access to, the more luxury we lose out on by having kids.
Yeah, there we go. And then classic Aella thing too, where it seems like a materialist taking a Marxist sense.
No!
But
no! Last summer she published on Substack, I'm confused about birth rate and gays. And a bunch of
God! Oh, dude, Josh, we're gonna have to do an episode about.
We're gonna have to do an episode about Aella, because it sounds to me like a lot of her ideas and assumptions are very similar to a lot of the people we talk about on our show.
Birth order and gays, but she's also obsessed with birth. Yeah, like whether or not the order in which you're born determines whether you're gay or not is like a thing that floats around a lot. She's also obsessed with birth control, birth rates. Oh yeah, you should absolutely do an episode on her.
We're going to.
I also co-host a podcast called The Worst of All Possible Worlds, and we talk about media culture. We do analysis of a different piece of media every week. We have a particular interest in weird reactionary guys there as well. And so one of our common topics of conversation is the children's radio drama Adventures in Odyssey, a focus on the family production. If those words have done anything to your brain just now, you should go check out our show. I think you'll have a good time. And also, thank you both so much for having me on again. I had a blast.
Thank you so much. June, where can people follow you?
So, of course, Ill Conceived. Keep your eyes open for maybe an Aella episode. That'll maybe happen probably at some point. But I also do a show called Kill the Computer with my co-host Caleb. We sort of just talk about how like the internet spills into the real world, just sort of like the convergence that we've seen of like a lot of technology, like AI, a lot of like AI freaks, and like how that influences the politics that we see around us today. So we recently just talked about like the intentional political strategy of like MAGA music, for example, and just like the undergirding ideology and mechanisms underlying that. So just, yeah, stuff like that we talk about on that show. Check it out if that sounds interesting.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, it's Ryan. If you like what you just watched, subscribe to our channel and check out our other episodes. Not only will it help us grow, but each will help other folks like you who might need a little reminder to chill out and touch grass.